This is how to do the sliding number puzzle. This is that little puzzle that has little squares that you slide around to put numbers in order or to solve a puzzle. I'm going to use playing cards here so I can do a blown up version that everybody can see, and I can make it 8 by 8, which would be pretty complicated, relatively speaking. It took me a couple of weeks to figure this out, and I was a little surprised I couldn't find the solution to this on YouTube, so that's why I'm putting this video up. When sliding these pieces around here, the most difficult sections are the last column and the last row. So just pretend this is 8 by 8 and it goes 8 cards all the way up, and everything has been solved except for this last column right here and then this whole last row. There's no consistent name for this. I found several names on Google of number puzzle, sliding number puzzle, wooden block puzzle, but Wikipedia said it's been around since the 1800s and used to be pretty popular. So with this method I'm going to show, it'll be so easy that it'll be almost boring, but doing an 8 by 8 does make it more complicated and a little bit more challenging. And if you don't know this technique, then it can be virtually impossible because you'll just be sliding cards around with random chance. So I'll show how to do the 8 by 8. I'll show how easy this can be. And then if you ever come across a 4 by 4 or 6 by 6, it'll be a breeze. So here's what we got: 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got to get the 9 from here over to the last column. And then I have to organize the whole bottom row. So there's only 3 rules to this game. You rotate these cards just like this until you can't rotate anymore, and then you slide the snake in a hole. Here's your snake, here's the head of the snake, you just put it in the hole. And you keep trying to rotate, and if you can't rotate again, then you just keep sliding the snake deeper in the hole. And so those are the first 2 rules, rotate and then slide the snake in a hole. So anyways, I'm gonna put this snake in a hole so I can put this over there. I could make my obligatory jokes about how I hope I'm playing with a full deck, and I'm not going to be playing with the Queen of Hearts because I know that isn't really smart. And so the third rule is that the 9, since it goes after the 8, you want this 9 to either be underneath or above the 8, depending on what row we're doing. So I just keep working until I get the 9 under the 8. This snake keeps going deeper into the hole. Here's the head of the snake, maybe that's the neck. And slide this over here. And the 8 is now over the 9 where it's supposed to be. That means this is the magic position. Slide that there, and that goes right up. Now as the snake backs out of the hole, it'll be in order: 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. But before I back the snake out of the hole, I'm going to go ahead and put it the rest of the way in the hole so that the snake will be folded in half, and then I can work on the last row. By folding the snake in half, this will get the second row out of the way, and now I can just work on this last row, and no matter what I do to this last row, it will not affect the second row right there. Oh, that's a bummer. I got the 2 here. I was trying to put this out of I was hoping to get this really out of order. Okay, maybe I'll just scramble this really quick or something. I don't know. There, okay. So now, what I have to do here is create a snake. Here's the head. Then the body goes around this way. So as this snake crawls into the hole, this snake backs out of the hole, and everything's in order. So anyways, just start shuffling these cards around until you it goes 2, 3, 4. Here's the 2, and I got to get 3 next to the 2. One thing I can do here is just rotate. In this case, the snake would go into a hole up this way, but I don't need to do that at this part. I just slide that over, and I can rotate the 3 right around to here, just like that. So it goes 2, 3, there we go. So now I need to get the 4 next to the 3. First, I can try to rotate. Okay, this is actually working out too easy. I've shot this video a few times, and I'm always hoping to make it really difficult. So now I got 2, 3, and 4, and I never even had to put the snake in the hole. I'm a little disappointed how easy this is. Okay, now it's going to get a little harder because now the snake finally has to go in the hole. 2, 3, 4. The 5, remember, since the 5 goes after the 4, this 5 either needs to be above the 4 or below the 4. In this case, it'll be above the 4. So I start putting the snake in the hole until the 5 is above the 4. There you go, Bob's your uncle. That's the magic position. Let's give it a little bit more room here, and hopefully I'm not going to mess this up here. It looks like I need to put the snake a little deeper in the hole because I can't rotate 4 cards right here. I'm actually getting better at this. I've done this game a few times now. I can't rotate here because there's 4 cards. I can't rotate here because if I move the 5, the 4 will mess up, plus there's 4 cards. What does that mean if you can't rotate? You put the snake deeper in the hole. There you go. This is an imaginary video game hole where there's like a tunnel floating out in space. So there we go. 2, 3, 4 now. Okay, so there's one problem here. I'm glad I'm getting these errors here. I still got the 8 in the way right here, and I still can't rotate this. My problem is the 5 is on the top row, and it has to be on the bottom row. So I'm going to back the snake out of the hole. Okay, actually, I think I'll keep the snake up here like this. Okay, now I got to get the 5 on the bottom row. There, now I got the 5 on the bottom row. There we go. So now I got the 5 here, and I have to get it next to the 4. I'm going to try to back the snake out of the hole here and see what happens. 2, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the 6 is up here. That means now I can rotate the 5 into place. So I guess there's another step here. Sometimes maybe you have to back the snake out of the hole. I don't know. Good, it's still messed up though. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 6. Very good, so it's still complicated, which is what I want. Okay, so I need a 5. Oh, the 6 is already above the 5, right where it's supposed to be. So I just keep putting the snake in the hole, going around that way. 4, 5, and then the 6 will slide right down. 7 and 8. Okay, this one was a little easier than what I wanted, but anyways, you get the gist. If you can solve this as the most difficult column, which is what I did right here, and which is the last column, and the most difficult row, and you can do this on an 8x8, then yeah, you definitely know how to do this. What I'm going to do now is line up my snake here. Oh, I know what I was going to say. When you get to a 4x4 or 6x6, this will be super easy. So anyways, this snake goes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As the snake crawls in the hole, this one backs out. So, as I like to say, this channel is all about taking what appears extremely complicated and making it extremely simple. So, you can actually move several squares at once if you want to. On those little sliding number puzzles, you can move a whole row if you want. Switch hands here, my hand's getting tired. So, a little tedious right here. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Make sure you don't hemorrhage out or herniate out right here if you're just doing the card version, because otherwise it's cheating. Also, these cards have to be shuffled about according to the rules of the game by doing this. If you just throw a bunch of cards on the table randomly, you'll end up getting this 7 on the other side of the 8, and you'll never be able to get the 7 in between the 6 and the 8. So shuffle them according to the rules. Don't hemorrhage out. And that's pretty much it. There are video game apps for this also. One is called Sliding Numb Puzzle or something. It's pretty fun for a little while. But like I said, once you learn this technique, it's not too challenging, and you probably won't play it a whole lot. And slide this over here. Quick check. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So yeah, that's pretty much it.